For anyone that has ever owned or driven a Corvette, one of the best driving dynamics a Corvette has is visibility. And visibility is often overlooked, but it's a very important key driving element. And you may be wondering why I have my Audi R8 behind me as I'm talking about Corvettes, and we will get to that in a second. But honestly, one of my favorite things about owning my Corvette C6 and driving it quite often was the fact that it had tons of visibility. I didn't have to worry about a lot of blind spots, and that's a very important aspect. But with the new Corvette going to a mid-engine layout such as the Audi R8, is that all going to change? And we have a little bit of insight on that with the all-new rear camera in the car, which we're going to talk about. But first, let's talk about visibility in mid-engine vehicles. You see, here's the thing. Mid-engine cars have been known not to have great visibility. In fact, Jeremy Clarkson just reviewed the all-new Aventador S, and he called it a terrible car. It was one of the worst cars he's reviewed in several years, and one of the biggest factors for that reasoning was based off poor visibility. He said he could not see anything out of the Aventador S. And here's the thing, McLaren and Lamborghini have been doing things such as making carbon fiber rear engine covers for a long time, and they look incredible. They look great in person, but what they do is they completely block your rear visibility, and that changes your driving style and habits, because when you can't see anything behind you, it changes a lot of aspects of driving, and it's something that while you're driving a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 car, you really want. Now, with all of that being said, my current Audi R8 is actually not that bad in terms of visibility. Compared to my previous Corvette C6, it's certainly not as good, but honestly for a mid-engine vehicle, it's not all that bad. As I take a look around, one of my biggest things is my pillars that sit behind the driver and passenger side. If I'm taking an on-ramp to get onto the highway, I really have to bend over and make sure that there's nobody in a small little blind spot, especially if they're in a smaller vehicle or a motorcycle, and it's something that I can feel. But the biggest thing is in terms of rear visibility, and that's where this car again is not that bad. You can see this little bit of back glass there, and that is where it breaks from the cabin into the engine bay area, but it's pretty small. It's a very narrow area, and that is what cuts off in my rear view. I can see through that area. There's nothing obstructing my view to the rear of the vehicle, but honestly I can feel how condensed that area is compared to a normal vehicle. And when you're driving, especially in kind of heavier traffic on the highway and people are shifting from left to right lanes, it's something that you notice quite quickly. And if you were on the track, again, another place that you would notice. So as I was editing the video, I just realized that a lot of you all didn't actually get a really good view for what it looks like in the Audi R8 as far as driving terms. So I'm going to actually include just kind of a little video here showing you kind of the different angles, the front view, the side, and it'll give you a better idea of what I was trying to explain. So first we have front visibility, and the front visibility is exceptional in my R8. I have no issues at all. It might be a little bit narrow of a windscreen, but honestly from left to right, no issues. And you can see the visibility is fantastic. Even going all the way to left to right, these pillars aren't all that bad. And you can move all the way around. And what you can see is what I was talking about is this pillar back here where the back of the car starts. It's a pretty big block until you get to the rear visibility. And honestly, it's hard to see on video, but as I'm looking around that corner to try to make sure nobody's in that blind spot, that's where kind of I get a lot of the issues going. But other than that, really no issues whatsoever. You see, this is what leads us to the all-new 2020 Corvette C8. The engineers that worked on the new Corvette were well aware of how important it was to have good rear visibility, and they didn't want it to be narrowed or condensed. So what did they do? They added a camera to the rear of the vehicle, and their rear view is now a completely digital rear view mirror, and that's a pretty neat feature, and I'm going to show you where they put the camera. So Chevrolet actually added a camera back in this area. Of course, I don't have a camera on my current Audi R8, but they put a rear view camera right here, and it will always stay on, and it transmits a very crisp image straight to the rear view mirror area. And we're actually going to take a look at that video right now.
All right, first ride in the C8. At at the Laguna WeatherTech Speedway. That is such great quality on that camera.
So as you can see from the video, rear visibility is not going to be an issue at all. And I absolutely love what Chevrolet has done with their rear view. I love the digital aspect, and the clearness of the image looks amazing. Actually, the video you guys watched doesn't even look that great, but you can tell just how crisp the rear view camera is going to be. It will always stay on, and my guess is you'll be able to do some different things with it, such as being in reverse mode. You're gonna be able to see some lines on that rear view to help you back up into a spot like we see on a lot of rear view cameras. So a very cool aspect that I think a lot of people are going to thoroughly enjoy on the all-new 2020 Corvette. One last thing I wanted to talk about is in the video you can clearly see that the new Corvette is in track mode, and if I'm splitting hairs, honestly I don't feel like the new track mode looks quite as aggressive as the previous generations. The C7, I loved that layout for the tack, but honestly the all-new Corvette is extremely customizable. Each of those boxes you see can actually be customized with new information. There was an individual on YouTube that put out a video, I will put a link in the description so you can check that out, had a full review of the interior and all of the tack settings, all of the customizability you could get out of the infotainment system, and it was very cool. I love all of the different settings, and I think a lot of people are truly going to enjoy their new Corvette with all of the upgraded tech that is coming. This of course is helped by the next generation of electrical components that is going in. The new Cadillac CT5 is the first to get it, but the all-new Corvette is getting it, and it's one of the reasons actually a lot of people thought that the new Corvette was going to be delayed, but luckily it seems like it's right on track. Well, I think that takes care of it for today's video. If you have any questions or honestly comments about the video that you saw or about visibility in general on the all-new Corvette, make sure you drop it below. I love conversing with all of you. I truly appreciate all of your support. Make sure if you're watching this video that you hit that bell notification. That will let you know when our latest videos launch. You won't have to wait to see it at a later time. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, please help support our channel and hit that thumbs up. We would truly appreciate your like. If you are new to the channel, think about subscribing. If you enjoy it, we have a ton of awesome content. First coming with the Audi R8, but taking delivery, my whole process of that, of my new 2020 Corvette C8. I can't wait. There's going to be a lot of content to come next spring. Thank you all so much for joining me on today's video. As always, you all take care. We'll see you next video.